Good morning, students. Till now, we have discussed three methods of separation: crystallization, chromatography, and sublimation. Now, we'll be discussing three more methods of separation. So, let's begin with the first one, that is distillation. Let's see what is distillation. This is a process which is used to separate two liquids which are miscible. That means they are mixed into each other in all proportions and they form a single layer when put in a container. So in this method, we start heating a liquid to form vapor, then cooling the vapor to get back liquid. The liquid obtained by condensing the vapor is called distillate. This process is used for those liquids which have sufficient difference in their boiling points. And remember one thing, that this process is valid only when the difference in the boiling point is more than 25 Kelvin. So this is an experimental setup for the process of distillation. So for this, material required are distillation flask, a clamp stand, a burner, tripod stand, and a beaker to collect the distillate. So in this method, what is done is, first of all, the mixture is put into this flask, and when we start heating this mixture, the components of the mixture, they have differences in the boiling point, and the liquid which has lesser boiling point will start converting into vapors. And we have a thermometer to have the reading, like we can easily find out what is the temperature at which the liquid has started boiling. Since we are already aware of the boiling points of these two liquids which we have mixed together, we can find out that the first liquid has started boiling depending upon the thermometer reading. Now when this first liquid, that is which has lower boiling points, start converting into vapors, it escapes out through this outlet tube. And this tube is made up of glass, and in turn it is surrounded by another glass tube which has water flowing through it. That means cold water is made to pass through this tube. So this will help in condensing the vapor of the liquid which is passing through this tube. And on condensing the vapors, they are converted to liquid, and that can be collected. So in this way, let's say if we have taken a mixture of two liquids, that is acetone and water here. Acetone has very low boiling point, that is it has a boiling point of around 56.53 Kelvin, which is a very low boiling point as compared to that of water, because water has 100 degree Celsius boiling point. So in this way, we can separate out acetone from water. And when you see that the thermometer is now about to reach, or it has exceeded 56.53 degrees Celsius, that means the acetone has escaped out, and before it reaches 100 degree, you can easily stop this experiment, because when 100 degrees reached, that means water has started boiling now. So this is the distillation process. As you can see here, we are providing heat to it, and the liquid which has lower boiling point will start evaporating, and thermometer will take the reading, and from here it will pass to this collecting jar. Now next is fractional distillation. So let's see what is fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is a process of separating two or more miscible liquids by distillation, the distillate being collected in fractions boiling at different temperatures. So here we have two or three liquids which are mixed together, or you can say more than two liquids which are mixed together, and they have differences in their boiling points, and so they are separated by this method. So when the boiling point difference between two miscible liquids is less than 25 Kelvin, then fractional distillation is used. If it is more than 25 Kelvin, then we use simple distillation. Otherwise, if it is less than 25 Kelvin, then we carry out this process, that is fractional distillation. And you should know 25 Kelvin is equal to minus 248 degree Celsius. So when the boiling point difference is of less than 25 Kelvin, then fractional distillation is used. In this process, except distillation apparatus, a fractionating column is fitted in between distillation flask and the condenser. A simple fractionating column has glass beads, and these beads provide surface for vapor to cool and condense rapidly. So this is the fractional distillation setup here. As you can see in the previous diagram, there were no beads over here. So this is fractional distillating column which we are using now. The process is almost the same, only difference is we have glass beads over here, and glass beads they are put here just to separate different liquids at different fractions depending upon their differences in boiling points. Again here we have a mixture, so mixture may contain 3 or more than that liquids mixed together. Since they have differences in their boiling points, so they'll start rising up, but the one which has the least or the lowest boiling point will get vaporized first, and this thermometer will show us the reading, and after that it will escape from this tube, and again we have a condenser which will condense these vapors to form pure liquid component. And again, depending upon the differences in the boiling points, different constituents of this mixture, they'll get separated at through this fractional distillation. Now, how will you separate different gases from air? Let's see that. This is also done with the help of this process of fractional distillation. So separation of gases from air, all of you are aware that air is a mixture of homogeneous mixture of many gases, and they can be separated into their constituents by fractional distillation. So this is the flow diagram which shows how we can separate out different constituents of air. First of all, air is compressed and cooled by increasing pressure and decreasing temperature. Then it forms liquid air, and this liquid air is allowed to warm up slowly in fractional distillation column, and the gases get separated at different heights. This is the flow chart which is shown there in your textbook also. We have air, which is a mixture of different gases. First of all, it is compressed and cooled by increasing pressure and decreasing temperature. So on doing so, we'll get liquid air. And now this liquid air is allowed to warm up slowly in fractional distillation column, and gases, they get separated at different heights. As you can see here, like oxygen, argon and nitrogen, they are separating out. Boiling points of these gases are given here. Oxygen is minus 183 degrees Celsius, argon is minus 186, nitrogen is minus 196. And percentage volume of these air or the constituents is also given here. That is oxygen is 20.9, which is equal to 21, and argon is 0.9% and nitrogen 78.1%. Now our last topic of today's lesson is cleaning water for drinking. We all know that we need to have clean drinking water. To have clean water, we need to pass the water obtained from lake or different sources of water through a long process, and it is as follows. These are the main processes which are carried out. First of all, sedimentation tank, loading tank, filtration tank and chlorination tank. So in sedimentation tank, what is done is heavy impure particles they settle down when water is left for some time. And second is loading tank. Alum or fitkery is mixed with water. Even small suspended particles, they settle down because alum or fitkery, its particle, it increases the weight of the suspended particles by loading them, and they make them settle down at the bottom. And filtration tank, it has 3 layers. It has 3 layers of fine sand, coarse sand and tiny stones. When water passes through them, it is further clean. And finally, chlorination tank is there. Since we know that still we have not obtained the water, pure water for drinking, because it may contain some germs in it. So last process which is carried out is chlorination. In chlorination tank, chlorine is mixed with water and it kills the germs. Now water is sent to home. So this is water purification system in waterworks. As you can see, reservoir, it can be any lake or river or canal, and from this reservoir water is first of all sent to sedimentation tank, where solids they are allowed to settle down, and after this the water is then passed on to the loading tank to settle the suspended impurities. As earlier mentioned, here Fitkari or alum is used for loading. After this, the water is then sent for filtration to the filtration tank. Here we have different layers like fine sand, gravel, coarse gravel, and when water comes here, it passes through different strata or different layers, and finally water after filtration is passed on to the chlorination tank for chlorination. That means to kill the bacteria or germs which may be present along with water. Now after this chlorination, water is free from germs and impurities, and now it is supplied to your homes. So I hope you have understood this, and with this we come to the end of today's topic. So today we learnt 3 methods, and rest of the section will be taking up later. Thank you. Thanks a lot.